Hello everybody, welcome to Totally Tabled. My name is Shaggy, and today I'm doing a sponsored solo playthrough of Primal: The Awakening. Reggie Games has paid me to make this video to tell you about the Primal Boutique web store, where you can order Primal and all of its expansions. They are currently having a Black Friday sale where prices are up to 40% off. You just need to go to reggiegames.com or click on the link in the description below. This time around, I'm tackling the November challenge scenario, Hunger. If you don't know about these monthly challenges, I've made full playthroughs of the previous two scenarios. Links are in the description. And if you don't know how to play Primal, please go watch my original tutorial video where I go over all the rules. In this video, I'm going to focus on playing the game and less on teaching. In Hunger, we face off against Zitharos, who is part of the Nightmare expansion. In the clearing, Zitharos looms over Haidar, ripping into his chest with blood-soaked fangs. The moment the beast catches your scent, the venomous vines covering the ground coil around your legs, their thorns piercing deep. Today I'm playing as Karah and Heleren, who are two new characters from the Mount Havoc expansion. I've set them up using a loadout specifically for this scenario provided by the publisher. For this challenge, we're going to be playing at aggression level 2, and there's a couple of special rules. Your heart pumps blood and poison. Your wounds send Zitharos into a killing frenzy. During player setup, each player takes the venom cards related to their hunter and shuffles 2 of them into their deck. And unfortunately, Karah here actually drew both of her venom cards in her starting hand. That's a bit unlucky. Now these venom cards stay in your hand and you can only play them to pay for a stamina cost. But when you do, you take damage equal to your weapon level, which in this case is going to be 2. And then also, Haidar is dead, yet its venomous vines live on, answering to a new master. With each wound dealt to Zitharos, a thorned branch shrivels and dies. When a player inflicts a wound on Zitharos, the player may remove a thorn vine from their sector if present. Now, as you can see, we have 2 Thornvine tokens on the board. Those tokens, along with the Venom cards, are from the Venom expansion. So for this challenge, you're going to need both the Nightmare and the Venom expansions. We're going to want to remove these vines because anytime we're in a sector with a vine, we're going to need to spend an extra stamina cost anytime we play an offensive card. That's either the blue or the red cards. You can also see we have that purple plant in the upper and the right sector. Those plants just increase our attack by 2 damage. And this plant in the left sector, it's hard to see. That one will just heal you by 2 at the start of your turn. That water in the sector is annoying because it's going to decrease your maximum sequence from 5 cards to 3 cards. Now, before we get started, we're going to need to deal with some of the stuff that's on Zitharos' stance card. First, it says that he can't be taunted or confused. And then it says at the start of round 1, all players draw 1 card. So that's nice. We're going to get an extra card. And then Zitharos is going to gain a struggle for each red attack card that's in our hands. So we have 1 here in Karah's hand and 3 in Heleren's hand. So Zitharos is going to start with 4 struggle. We should also note that the scent of blood here means that, first of all, the monster is immune to blind. And then for the rest of the game, the aggro rules are going to work a little bit differently. In this game, the aggro player is going to be the one that has the most damage. Hopefully I'll remember that. And then at the start of the attrition turn, if it's the aggro player's turn, then they're going to get an automatic disrupt token. But we also have this Lure of the Beast here that's going to be permanent. And that means that at the start of the aggro player's attrition phase, another player can discard an aggro card from their hand. And that will give the aggro player a defense token. Okay, I think that's all the rules we need to worry about right here. I'll explain all of the gear and the different weapons and special abilities of the characters as we go along, as we see it. But let's just go ahead and jump on in and get started. Okay, we're going to start with the consume phase, and I think we're going to start off drinking some potions right away. Heleren's going to take this Hatrox. You consume it, and you take damage equal to your weapon level, which is 2. But for the rest of the round, her weapon is going to get a +6 to damage. That's going to be amazing because I've seen her hand and she's going to do quite a lot of damage this round. And because Karah started with those 2 Venom cards in her hand, I think let's go ahead and have her draw 2 with this Impera. Now, unfortunately, right off the bat, during the monster upkeep phase, they're going to gain 2 struggle, which is going to put them to 6, which means they're going to attack us for 2 damage. And then that's going to reset to 2. And now it's Heleren's turn. She's going to start, and right off the bat, she's starting out in the front sector, so a behavior is going to go off right away. We have Snarl. If the active player has a red card in their hand, they take a Disrupt token. Well, we saw already they have 3, so she's going to gain a Disrupt token. And, Zitheros's going to spend a struggle to get +1 for the rest of the round. So now doing 3 damage. Not good. Well, right now in their current stance, we have to attack from the flanks. Okay, so we're going to discard Recharging. And she's going to move up there. And now we're going to start the attacks with Gunfire. Now, Heleren is armed with this heavy gun, and a lot of her cards require her to spend bullet tokens in order to activate the card, or activate the special ability. And so right now we're tracking that here. She starts with 3 bullets. There's also cards that will help her recharge that. In fact, this recharging card is one of them. You can see here it has a reload too, and that just lets you add those bullets back in. So Gunfire says that we can spend a bullet in order to increase the damage of this attack by 3 times your weapon level, so in this case 6. And we'll definitely do that. Our Ocean Gun is already doing 6 damage, so we're doing 6 plus 6 plus 6 because of our potion, and then plus 2 because of the plant. So that's going to be 20 damage right off the bat. Now, in order to inflict a wound, we actually need 15 times 2. We need 30 damage, but that's a pretty good start. Now, our Ocean Gun has a special ability, which says Ignite, Recycle 1. Ignite basically just means that anytime you spend any amount of bullets. So we could recycle 1 if we want to, and I am tempted to do that. I'm actually going to recycle Camouflage here. So we just discard it and draw a new one. All right, well, we got Prompt Jump. When you would suffer damage, you may discard this card from your hand to prevent that damage. That's pretty good. I think we're going to continue on with our attacks, however, by playing Barrage of Bullets. It has a cost of 1. I'll just discard Bombardment. Now this says that we can spend any number of bullets and will increase the damage by 2 times our weapon level. So 4 for each bullet that we spend. Let's go ahead and spend 2 bullets. So we're completely out of bullets, but we've just increased the damage by 8. So we're now doing 8 plus 6 because of the potion plus 2. That is 22 damage. 10 of it will wound Zitherose, and so we'll have 12 left over. Not bad. And now we have some special abilities that go off because of our armor. Now again, we spent bullets, so we have this Ignite. We could recycle 1. I'm not sure I want to recycle 1. I think I like my card, so we're going to hang on to that. The Reef-Bound Plate says that when you inflict a wound, you get to heal 2. And you can search your discard pile and shuffle a card back into your deck. I'll go ahead and shuffle Camouflage back in. And then the Iron Leaf Helm says that when the monster suffers a wound, we can search our discard pile for an offensive card, so either a blue or a red, and we can place that on top of our deck. And I want to place Recharging back on top. And now I think we'll just go cover fire, do a little extra damage here. So that's just going to be 6 plus the 6 for the potion plus the 2. 14 damage. That's going to put them up to 26. So close to a second wound there. And that's it. I think that is all she wrote. Okay, attrition. Ooh, okay. So we're getting hit by 3. We could discard our jump to avoid taking that damage. The problem is that would empty our hand, and that would trigger that. Do I want to trigger that behavior to avoid 3 damage? Well, we got the card in our hand. Let's do it. So there we go. We prevent the damage. We've emptied our hand of cards, so we have to trigger that behavior. See if we regret this. Roar of Tyranny. The active player suffers damage unless the top card of their discard pile, whoa, is a defensive card, which it is because of the prompt jump. Amazing. I did not know that was what that was. I actually haven't played against this monster before, so I don't know what's coming, to be honest. Ooh, but they're going to spend a struggle so that we become threatened. Okay, wow. We got extremely lucky there. So what was that? 56 damage, I think, in a single turn. Not too shabby. Discard our sequence. Draw up. And we're still the aggro player. So monster's going to turn. All right, and now it's Karah's turn. I think she's going to stay here because she's in the flank, and I want her to try to deal with that thorn vine. So she's going to become threatened, unfortunately. And in fact, we can take care of that right away by just playing this air blade. Now, because she's in here with the thorn vine, she's going to have to spend an extra stamina to play this. So that's actually going to cost 2 stamina. Let's just go ahead and discard one of these venoms. So she's going to suffer 2 damage for doing that. So now she becomes the active, the aggro player. And then for the second stamina cost, I think I'll play this swing. Now that's just going to do the 5 damage from her dragon wings, but that's enough to do a wound. 1 damage left. 1. And when you do a wound in a sector with a thorn vine, you can remove it. Lovely. Won't have to worry about that anymore. And here we go. She has the same reef-bound plate that lets her heal 2 when she inflicts a wound. And she can search her discard pile for a card and shuffle it back in. Obviously, it won't be the venom. So we're going to do a little bit of revision here. When Heleren became threatened, we should have drawn this card. It says swoop. The active player discards a defensive card from their hand. They wouldn't have had a defensive card in their hand because they were completely out of cards. So that would have done nothing. And now this card would go off when Karah became threatened at the beginning of her turn. So now let's do this. All players discard a card from their hand. If 2 or more players discard the same color, then the monster gains 2 struggle. Okay, so we would have had to discard a card from our hand. We'll just go ahead and discard this wall of blades. Okay, so that would have happened at the beginning of Karah's turn. Oh boy, and here we go. When she played this card, that would have gone off at the end. So now we have to resolve this one. Chomp. The active player suffers damage +1 unless a player in an adjacent sector discards a red card from their hand. If they do discard, the active player draws one. Okay, she will do that to avoid the damage. And so now the active player gets to draw a card. Okay, we're going through these behaviors fast. We've got all of that right, fixed our mistakes. I think for now what we want to do is we want to play Slice. Now Slice says chain attack card. And what that means is that if you play this card immediately after the color of card that's shown, then you don't have to pay the stamina cost. And so we're basically chaining our Slice from our Air Blade so we can play it for free. Now that's not doing anything right now, but if we look down here, Karah has a special ability. It's called Battle Dance. And when she plays 2 offensive cards in a row like this, she gets to do the damage on top there, 3 times her weapon level. She gets to do 6 damage. Now, if she were to continue and do 4 offensive cards in a row, then she would get to do 10 damage. And if somehow she was able to get 6 offensive cards in a row, she would do another 14 damage. Now, additionally, her Dancer card here says that when you chain a card, you put a token on here, and with 4 tokens, we can focus her mastery. Okay. I think now, let's play Overture. I'm going to pay for it using Piercing Strike. And it says that if you paid with a red card, draw 3 cards. And now I'm going to play Dancing. I'll discard that. It says to draw 1 for each of your offensive cards in your sequence. Maximum of 3. Okay, 3 more cards. And there we go. We've done 4 offensive cards in a row, so we get to do 10 more damage. And now we can play 1 more card in our sequence. That's our max. Unless we happen to draw that 1 card again, which we didn't. All right, I tell you what we'll do. We'll play Scythe. We're chaining off of a blue, so we don't have to pay a cost. That's going to do 5 damage, so they're going to be at 22. And there we go. Unfortunately, we can't play another card, or we could do 14 damage. But I don't have a card that lets me increase my sequence size. So there we go. That's it. Okay, so now we have to take a Disrupt token because of Scent of Blood. We're drawing 2 Attrition. Okay, so 3... There's nothing we can do about that. We're going to have to take that damage. Now, we do have these lava bucklers here, which we could use to try to prevent damage. But we'll wait until we're really taking big-time damage, and we really need those things. Okay, now, actually, before that happens, at the end of our action phase, I can just reveal a blue card from my hand and either heal 2 damage or search the discard pile for a card and shuffle it back into the deck. Now, I do think I want to heal 2. Oh, and we should have played this. Always forget about those behaviors. Oh, and this actually triggers at the end of the attrition phase, so we're doing it at the right time. It says Trample. Zitharos is going to gain 2-1 struggle, so gains 1 struggle. The aggro player suffers damage unless players collectively pay 2 stamina. Well, let's collectively pay 2 stamina. We'll have Karah discard Twin Blades. That's 2 stamina. And it says when you discard this card from your hand, deal your weapon damage. So 27, so close to another wound. she just needs to draw one card. Monster's going to turn to her because she's the aggro player. And it's the end of the round, so that's going to trigger. First, their deck ran out, so I think they have to shuffle that up immediately. Yes, that's called escalation. You have to shuffle immediately, and they gain a struggle. Primordial Blood. Zitharos gains one struggle for each different color among the top cards of the player's discard piles. Okay, there we go, just one. Go to round 2. Okay, Karah is actually first player now. Heleren will draw 2 cards. She's kind of low. And it looks like this behavior's gone. And 5 struggle. Okay. Karah needs to move. I think she'll spend her venom to move, so that will be 2 damage. She'll lose that. She wants to play finesse. That'll cost 1. Yeah, she'll discard that. Draw 1. Okay, didn't really get anything good here. I think she just wants to play this very defensively because she's still going to be aggro. I think she'll hold on to the rest of these. Oh no, actually, I think she'll play deny. That's it. That's all she's doing. At the end of her action phase, she can reveal this blue card to heal 2. She has to take a disrupt token, so she's only at 1. Now, Heleren could discard this aggro card to give her an extra 1. Okay, I think she will. She'll discard this card. That will give her a defense token. Okay, there we go. Didn't need it, but just in case. Now she has 2 cards left in her hand. So she will get the stamina token. Pretty simple turn there. Okay, and now Heleren's going to move. She's going to come down here. She'll play this to move. And this says when you discard it from your hand, draw 1. She then wants to recharge. That's going to reduce struggle by 1. All right, let's go camouflage there. We'll discard that. That's going to let us reload 2. We moved, so we can get rid of that. And because of our ocean gun, when we reload, we can heal 2. Down to 0 damage. That's amazing. Now we can only do that once per turn. Now I want to do pressing shot. And I'll discard countermeasure. That's going to let us draw 1, but since our bullet is 1 or more, we can draw 2. Okay, got our first venom. Let's play Ready to Shine. We'll discard that venom, take 2 damage. So we could discard any number of cards from our hand and then draw until we have 3. I actually want to keep the card in my hand, so we'll just draw 2 more. All right, I'm tempted by Explosive Shot here, which would remove a struggle, and then we could spend 2 bullets to inflict Vulnerable. Vulnerable would be good. I think that's worth it. So we'll go Explosive Shot. We'll spend Cycle of Bullets to pay for it. And it says that when we do that, we get to reload 1. Can't heal because you can only do that once per turn. We remove a struggle. We'll spend 2 bullets. We'll inflict Vulnerable. And we're going to do 6 damage. So 3 will remain, and then we'll do a wound. And we got to move on to stance 2 now. Now, before we do, let's remember that when we inflict a wound, we get to heal 2. We can search for a card in our discard pile to shuffle in. Okay, we'll shuffle Barrage of Bullets back in. And then with our Iron Leaf Helm, we'll put Gunfire on top. So here on stance 2, again, it says that Zitharos cannot be taunted or confused. And then it says, when revealed, Zitharos gains 1 struggle for each red attack card across all players' hands. And then we're also adding this immune to blind. That's fine. When you suffer attrition damage, shuffle a bleeding card into your deck. If you already have a bleeding card in your deck or discard pile, Zitharos advances to stance 3 instead. Wow. And it's going to require 40 damage for a wound now. All right, and then for my last play, we'll just do that. Oh, no, wait, actually, before that, I did play an aggro card, so we are going to do this. In Rage, Zitharos gets +1 until the end of the turn for each attack card in the active player's sequence. Wow. Now, okay, hold on. Getting ahead of myself. We have to do this first. So, across all players' hands. So here's 1, 2. So it gets 2 struggle. Still not at 6, so that's lucky. Okay, is now getting a +1 because of this, because of that 1 red card, until the end of the turn. And then is spending in order to give us a disrupt. That's a shame. That's going to cancel that out. Ugh. And all we have is this attack card here. So that means we're going to take a hit unless it's the 0. But that's okay. That'll just be 3 damage. Oh no, actually it'll be 4 because now they're doing 3 damage. So that's going to be 4 damage. We're done. Disruption token. Aggro. Ah, it is the 1. So there we go. We are taking 4 damage. And becoming the aggro player, because we have more damage now. And we got to shuffle a bleeding card in. So if we draw the bleeding card, then Zitharos is just going to get 1 struggle. Okay, and we got it, of course. So when you draw this card from your deck, discard it immediately. It's a struggle. It's going to turn. That's the end of the round. On to round 3. Okay, Heleren's the first player. I don't think we're going to consume. Oh boy, okay. That's not good. So we're going to reset to 2. And go up to 3. And we're each going to get a hit for 3. That struggle is a problem, for sure. And now, boom, her turn. We have 2 behaviors going off. I do want to immediately play Prompt Answer. That's when a behavior card is revealed. I can discard this to reload 2. And when I reload, I can heal 2. We'll start with this one here, Snarl. If the active player has red cards in their hand, they take a disrupt token. We definitely do. And then pay 1 struggle. They get +1 attack till the end of this turn. And then this one, Chomp. The active player suffers damage +1 unless a player in an adjacent sector discards a red card from their hand. If they do, the active player draws 1. I think we can do that. Yeah. Draw 1. Now it's time to do some damage. We are going to have to move, though. Okay, we're going to use Venom to move. We'll start with this. We'll discard that. -1 struggle. Infallible aim. A weapon gets +3 damage until the end of this turn. But if your bullet level is at 3, your weapon gets +5 damage instead. That was an aggro card, so gotta deal with this. Enrage. Zethros gets +1 until the end of the turn for each attack in the active player's sequence. So it's already at +1. I should be using these because of that other card. And so now it's at +2. Then get another disrupt token. Wow, okay. Barrage of bullets. Discard that. Or, hold on. Yeah, we're going to play an assist here. So we can draw a card. Yeah, we'll discard that. We're going to spend 3 bullets. So that's +6, +3 here. Well, hold on. So we're going to use the vulnerable, and I believe this is how it works. We're going to be +6, +6 here for 12, and our weapon is +3. So that's 15. And I believe that's a single source of damage, because it's from our weapon and this one card. So I think that's how vulnerable works. I'm still not 100% sure how vulnerable works, but I believe that that's how it works. So I believe we're doing 15 times 2. We're doing 30 damage. That's still not enough for a wound, which is crazy. And then what the heck? Let's just go ahead and play Gunfire. Ooh, or should we hold on to Gunfire? Let's hold on to Gunfire, actually. We're not going to play Gunfire. I don't want to trigger that. So we're done. That's it. We're at 0. I don't think there's anything we do. We just need to draw that 0 out of that deck, or we're going to take a lot of damage. Oh, it's the 2. Okay. So we're taking 3 and then 3 because we have 2 of these here. So we're actually taking 6 damage. We're at 13 damage. Luckily, we have 21 health here, but it's getting a little sketchy. That goes away. We have to shuffle up our deck. And actually, because of this, we need to advance to level 3, to stance 3. Okay, so now we need 50 in order to wound him. Oh my god. Can't be taunted, stunned, or confused. And when we reveal, players with a aggro card in their hand suffer 2 damage. And they're going to be doing 4 damage now. Then immune to blind, and then when we suffer attrition damage, they're going to gain a struggle for each red card in our sequence now. And this goes off on their turn. Forgot about that. Trample. So Zitharoth's going to gain 1 struggle. The aggro player suffers damage unless players collectively pay 2 stamina. Okay, I will discard this. We'll avoid that. And of course, Heleren has to suffer fatigue damage because they had to reshuffle their deck. So 2 more damage. Okay, wow. Well, this has gone off the rails. And quickly, I might add. But it's now Karah's turn. She only has 2 cards in her hand. think she is going to move, and she's going to use crossover. Oh, wait, this is when you discard the card from your hand to generate stamina for movement, right? So she's going to move. She's going to discard that for her movement, and when she does, she can overrun the monster, which just means move to the opposite side of where you are. And when she does that, she reduces a stamina, or I mean a struggle. And I think that might be all she does. She could play natural agility. You know, I think she will. Just have the extra protection. She can spend that. But it does mean she's emptying her hand, which will trigger that. Yeah, it's okay. She'll do that. Ah, okay. The active player suffers damage unless the top card of their discard pile is a defensive card, which it's not. Ooh, she could use her lava bucklers, though. Maybe she'll use her lava bucklers to try to avoid that damage. So she discards one of those, and then you just discard the top card of your deck, and if it's a defensive card, then you prevent the damage. Ah, no. Just taking 4 damage there. And then gonna become threatened. That triggers this card. The active player discards a defensive card from their hand. Don't have one. And that only affects you when you move into a sector with water in it. So luckily we're already there, so that's not going to trigger. Okay, no problem. 0 and 1, but I have 1 defense, so I'm not taking any damage there. Okay, gonna draw. So I'm gonna need to shuffle. I'm gonna take 2 damage, but my dragon wings get a little bit stronger. They're gonna get 2 stronger. So they now do 7 damage. Okay, that's the end of the round. So this is going to trigger Primordial Blood. Okay, it's going to gain 1 struggle for each different card. We have no discard pile. Wow. So that does nothing. Move that down. And I tell you what, let's consume, man. Normally it'd be 4, but because the attrition card is 1 or lower, we're going to heal 8. So down to 3. Okay, gotta shuffle that. It's a struggle. And 2 more. And there we go. Now it's Heleren's turn. Okay, so right off the bat, we have these. Chomp, the active player suffers damage +1 unless a player in an adjacent sector discards a red card from their hand. Well, we don't have an adjacent player. So just taking 5 damage. And then Snarl, if the active player has a red card in the hand, they take a Disrupt token. And then they get a +1. I'll use that. Well, we gotta move. Well, we don't have to move, but I think I want to move. Okay, yeah, I'll move. And I'll do Swift Reload. Discard that. And then I'll do gunfire. Spin that. 6 plus 6, that will be 12. 5 away from the 50 that we need for a wound. Oh my goodness. But we do have to play this because of the gunfire. Enrage. Alright, it's getting +1 until the end of the turn for each attack card in there, or offensive card. So now we're at 3 disrupt tokens, so forget it. We're just gonna get hit. Okay, so getting hit for 6. That's 18 damage, so have 3 health left. And because of this, they're gaining 1 struggle. Alright. Oh, now this goes off. Trample gains 1 struggle. Aggro player suffers damage unless players collectively pay 2 stamina. Okay, she'll pay 2. Now, we've been playing for quite a while, and we still have like 300 damage that we still need to do. So I'm going to stop here and then come back later in the game towards the end to see how well we do. And there we go, we're back. We're in the middle of the 8th round, and it's Heleren's turn. She had been KO'd and finally woke up, but unfortunately Karah went down right as she woke up. So I think she needs to come over here and take a revive action on Karah, because otherwise she actually won't be able to act before the end of the game. So let's just discard this to move. Oh, her figure should be down like that. This is Swift Deflection, so that when you discard this card, draw a card. We'll then use these 2 stamina in order to do the revive action. It takes 2 stamina, and we can just flip that token over. And now let's just play Camouflage, and we'll play Prompt Answer. Put a first token there on her mastery. She's aggro, so she has 1 disrupt, so we need to draw 1. Oh, it's the 0, so no damage. That's the end of the round. Primordial Blood. Zitharos gains 1 struggle for each different color on the discard pile, so there's only 1. On to the 9th round. No consuming. Ooh, 5 struggles. See, the problem we have here is now Heleren's down to 12 life, and she's already taken 4 damage, so she has 8 life left. If she gets KO'd again, it's game over. And unfortunately, we're about to get hit by 2 behavior cards. And I don't have a card that can stop it. So here we go. Chomp, the active player suffers damage +1 unless a player adjacent can discard a red. Well, we can't do that, so we're suffering 5 damage. Okay, down to 3. And we're gonna get a disrupt token. And they're +1 till the end of the turn. Well, I think she needs to move over into the healing. She could also reload to heal 2 as well. Yeah. She also has to avoid attrition. That's going to be nearly impossible. All right. We'll discard this to move. Then we're going to do recharging. We'll discard that to pay for it. Reload 2, that lets us heal. And then we're going to play Hall of Bullets. I have to discard this Venom card. So we're back up there, but that's going to let me draw 2 cards. Oh, so I draw a card, and then I have to shuffle the deck, which means I take 2 more damage. So I have 1 health left. I did get prompt jump, though, so that might keep me alive. Okay, I got bombardment. Oh, this should have been -1. Oh, and I did empty my hand, though. So I do have to resolve this. Enrage. It's going to get +1 attack for each offensive card, and then getting a disrupt token. So gonna have 2 disrupts. Yeah, that's not good. Gotta hold on to prompt jump. That'll let me avoid some damage. So I can't play bombardment. We're just gonna have to hold on to it. And that's 2 disrupts, so... Yep, definitely gonna get hit. Gonna play prompt jump to avoid it. Then at the end of the attrition, we get trample. Okay, it's going to gain 1 struggle. And the aggro player suffers damage unless players collectively pay 2 stamina. And that's it. I cannot pay 2 stamina. So I'm going to get hit for 5, downed, and that's the end of the game. Wow. Man. Trying to avoid this attrition damage is tough. I can't even imagine. Wow. So we only managed to get them down to 4 health. This was definitely the hardest challenge yet. But there you go. That was a playthrough of Primal the Awakening, challenge scenario number 3, Hunger. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.